I'm glad you're here tonight. Maybe your day was long, or maybe your thoughts have been moving a little too quickly. Take a slow breath with me, just an easy breath in, and let it fall out softly. Feel your shoulders loosen a little. Feel your body settle into the space around you, as if the room itself is holding you with gentle hands. There's nothing you need to do right now. Nothing to fix, nothing to hurry. This is your quiet moment, made only for rest, and I'm here with you in this calm, peaceful place. Let the world outside fade a little. Let the lights grow dim in your mind. Imagine the last sounds of the day drifting away like soft clouds moving across a night sky. You don't have to reach for anything. You don't have to think ahead. Just breathe slowly and let your whole body feel a little lighter with each breath, as though you're sinking into a warm, comfortable dream. If you like, you can picture yourself sitting near a window in a dark, quiet room. The curtains move gently with the breeze. The night outside is peaceful and still. Far above, the sky stretches out like a soft blanket of deep blue velvet. A few stars shimmer through the quiet darkness, glowing like small, sleepy lanterns. They don't shine loudly. They don't call for attention. They simply rest in the sky, gentle and patient, waiting for you to slow down enough to notice their calm, steady light. Take another soft breath, in and out. Feel your chest rise gently, then drift down. Let that rhythm settle into you, easy and natural. The day is behind you now. Right here, in this soft moment, you can let everything else pause. You are safe, you are held, you are welcome tonight. We drift together into the quiet world of our solar system, not in a loud or dramatic way, but with calm curiosity, like floating through a peaceful dream. The solar system is full of wonders, yet none of them rush or fight for attention. Every world moves slowly. Every moon glides gently. Every beam of sunlight stretches across space with a soft, warm glow, like a whisper traveling through the dark. As you breathe, imagine yourself rising just a little, lifting from your window seat and drifting upward through the calm night. The air wraps around you like cool silk. The stars above grow brighter. You float higher and higher, not with speed, but with weightless grace, as though your body remembers what it feels like to move without effort. Soon, the rooftops fade beneath you. The dark earth grows softer, deeper in color. The sky opens wider, welcoming you into its quiet world. You drift through the thin edge of the atmosphere, where the air becomes gentle and still. A faint blue glow curves beneath you like a sleeping ocean wrapped around the earth. The noise of the world disappears completely. There's only silence now, soft, endless silence that feels warm and peaceful. Up here, everything moves slowly. Even time feels as if it's taken a deep breath and relaxed as you float above Earth. Sunlight begins to rise from behind the curve of the planet, but it doesn't come suddenly or sharply. It comes like a quiet morning inside a dream, thin rays stretching out softly, like golden threads weaving through the dark. The light touches your skin with a gentle warmth, almost like a comforting hand resting on your shoulder. There is no rush, no pressure, just the slow arrival of a new glow. From this calm place, the solar system feels like a family of peaceful travelers circling the sun in soft, endless loops. Planets move with steady rhythms, never colliding, never hurrying. simply drifting along their wide paths. Everything flows with a kind of quiet harmony, as if the whole system is breathing in one smooth motion. Let that feeling move into you, the feeling of slow orbits, gentle sunlight, open space, the kind of space where nothing pushes or pulls too hard, the kind of space where you can just exist quietly and peacefully. Tonight, we explore the most relaxing facts about our solar system, but not like a classroom lesson, not like a fast list of information. Instead, we move softly from world to world, letting each scene unfold with warmth and calm. We float beside planets that turn in silence. We drift past moons that shimmer like pale lanterns. We watch sunlight dance across surfaces of ice, sand, clouds, and stone. We follow the quiet movements of ancient objects that have been traveling for billions of years. As we journey, let your thoughts loosen further. Let each image settle inside you, the way soft snow lands on open ground, slow, light, gentle. If your eyes grow heavy, that's fine. If your breath deepens, let it. This story is here to comfort you, to slow your mind, to soothe your senses. There is no right way to listen. Just let the calm carry you. The solar system is a peaceful place when seen through soft eyes. The planets do not fight for attention. The moons do not shout their secrets. The sun does not burn with anger. Everything simply exists in a long, quiet dance. And as you drift through this story, you may find yourself moving with that same rhythm, slow, steady, and safe. Another soft breath, in and out. Let your shoulders relax again. Let the weight of your body sink deeper into comfort. Let the quiet of space wash over you like warm night air. Tonight, we drift into the quiet world of our solar system, where every planet moves with calm grace, and every beam of sunlight glows like a soft whisper across space. And with that gentle glow guiding us, we begin. The sun sits at the center of everything, but tonight, let it feel different from the bright star you see in busy diagrams or loud science videos. Let it feel calm. Let it feel warm. Let it feel like a steady heartbeat, glowing softly. In the middle of a quiet, sleeping sky, take a slow breath and picture the sun not as fire or danger, but as a gentle lantern, shining with patient light that has touched every world for billions of years. Its glow is not rushed. Its warmth is not sharp. It spreads through space the way a deep breath moves through your chest, slow, steady, peaceful. Imagine yourself drifting closer, floating through the soft, dark space around you is silent, wrapped in a deep blue-black that feels almost like velvet. In the distance, the sun isn't harsh, it isn't blinding. It feels warm and golden, as though someone painted a soft circle of light in the middle of the sky and asked it to pulse. Gently, like the slow beat of a resting heart, the light moves outward in smooth waves, not loud, not fierce, but calm, glowing, alive. As you drift a little nearer, imagine those golden waves touching your skin. They feel like quiet warmth on a cool morning. Not strong enough to make you pull away, but warm enough to make you relax. The sun's light is steady, not in a hurry, spreading out in every direction, reaching every planet with the same soft patience. Even the farthest worlds, places where sunlight takes hours to arrive, still feel a faint echo of its glow. That alone makes the solar system feel safe, almost like a family gathered around one gentle source of warmth. Let yourself picture the slow surface of the sun, not the wild flames we often imagine, but a soft, moving texture like warm honey. Slowly swirling, you can see smooth waves shifting one after another, rising gently and falling again, like the chest of a sleeping giant. These motions take time, minutes, hours. Nothing here is fast. The sun breathes in light and breathes out heat, and even though it is huge and powerful, in this quiet moment, its energy feels comforting, not frightening. Imagine standing at a safe, dreamy distance where the sun fills your view. You float in a golden haze, wrapped in soft light that feels delicate and alive. Every movement of the sun's surface sends out waves that travel across space like calm ripples on still water. These waves are steady, repeating, predictable. They do not rush or collide. They drift outward with smooth rhythm, the sun's own gentle heartbeat spreading far beyond your sight. Take another slow breath. Let your chest rise as if it is following the same rhythm. Think of how this star has been beating with soft energy for billions of years, long before Earth even formed. Its light shaped our world, warmed it, and gave life the chance to grow. That warmth did not come with noise or drama. It came the way morning light touches a window, quietly, without asking for attention. It simply arrived, soft and bright, enough to guide the world into life as you continue floating near the sun. Imagine the soft glow around it, expanding like a warm mist. This glow is the sunlight we see on Earth, the same gentle light that turns morning skies pale gold and makes late afternoons feel calm and peaceful. Even though we often think of the sun as fierce, its light is what helps flowers open, warms oceans, and gives us the soft brightness that fills our days. It is a comforting presence, steady and constant. Picture the sunlight spreading across billions of miles. It does not fade quickly. It stretches and stretches, thinner and cooler the farther it travels, but still glowing softly, like warm breath fading into cold air. This light touches planets with different colors and textures. It brushes over Mercury like warm metal. It slips across Venus, glowing softly through thick clouds. It reaches Earth in a gentle beam that creates soft shadows and warm days. And even far beyond, near Neptune and Pluto, it still arrives like the faint whisper of a distant lantern. Now imagine the sun's magnetic field, not as a storm, but as a slow, flowing blanket of energy that moves outward. It shifts gently, like soft waves of air rolling across an open field. These waves create beautiful auroras on worlds with atmospheres, soft curtains of color that drift and shimmer, rising and falling in slow motion. This too is part of the sun's gentle heartbeat, a quiet message spreading across the darkness. Let yourself feel the comfort of this steady star. It does not speed up, it does not slow down. It follows a calm rhythm that keeps the solar system moving smoothly. Planets orbit around it like sleepy dancers in a slow circle. Moons follow planets with the same soft motion. Everything is tied to the sun's steady glow, moving together in peaceful harmony. As you watch, the golden light deepens, becoming richer and softer. The sun's warmth wraps around you like a comforting blanket. You drift a little farther back, letting the gentle pulse of its light fill your view. The sun doesn't ask for attention. It simply shines, day after day, with the same calm breath, the same warm glow. Imagine the light rising and falling like a soft heartbeat echoing across space. Each pulse feels slow and steady, spreading out in delicate waves that travel beyond sight. Those waves carry warmth, comfort, and quiet energy. They hold the solar system together without force, without noise, just gentle presence. Take another slow breath. Let your mind drift with the light. Let your thoughts soften the way sunlight softens the sky. Feel the warmth settle in your chest. Calm and grounding, as if the sun itself is sharing its peaceful rhythm with you. In the quiet of space, the sun is not a storm. It is a steady glow, a soft heartbeat, a warm center that gives everything around it the touch of gentle life. And as you breathe with that soft rhythm, we drift onward, following the golden waves as they travel outward into the wider calm of the solar system. Let your breath settle again, slow in, slow out. As the warmth of the sun drifts behind us, we gently glide toward the smallest planet in the solar system, Mercury. It moves so quietly, so softly, that it feels almost shy, as if it doesn't want to disturb the silence of space. Mercury circles the sun faster than any other world, yet nothing about its motion feels rushed. It travels smoothly, following a calm, steady path, like an early morning wanderer walking alone through a quiet landscape before the world wakes. As you float closer, picture the sunlight touching Mercury's surface. It doesn't shout or glow fiercely. Instead, it rests gently on the rocky plains, warming them into soft tones: gold, pale brown, and faint gray. One side of Mercury faces the sun with warm stillness, like a stone left out in the morning light. The other side sits in long, cool shadow, untouched by warmth, resting in soft, eternal night. These two halves create a quiet contrast, as if the planet is holding both sunrise and twilight at the same time. Imagine drifting above the sunlit side. The ground below is covered in old craters, shaped by time, not chaos. Each crater looks like a shallow bowl carved into stone, filled with soft shadows that stretch gently along the curves. The sunlight slides across them like a slow golden wave. There is no wind here, no sound, no movement, just stillness. A stillness so deep it feels like Mercury is holding its breath. The light on this world is different. It falls straight from the sun without the scattering you see on Earth. There is no sky to blur or soften it. The light feels clean, direct, and peaceful, like the first morning beam that slips quietly through a window. Nothing hurries here. Nothing interrupts. You are floating over a world that has been quiet for billions of years, untouched by storms or loud change. Now let yourself drift toward the dark side, the cool half of Mercury. At first, it looks almost black, but as your eyes adjust, subtle details begin to appear. The ground has a deep, restful tone, like stone lying under a moonless sky. Even though the sunlight cannot reach this place, the surface still glows faintly from reflected light around the edges, giving it a soft, silver blue softness. It feels like the calmest night you've ever experienced, where the world grows silent and the air feels still enough to hold your thoughts gently. Mercury rotates slowly, much slower than it orbits. A single day here, one sunrise to the next, lasts longer than its entire year around the sun. Because of this, the change between light and dark is slow and dreamy. Dawn creeps across the surface like a thin line of pale silver stretching across hills and craters. It does not rush. It slides forward almost like liquid light, warming the stones one by one. Sunset is just as gentle, fading from warm gold into deep shadow, as though someone is slowly dimming the lights of a quiet room. Picture standing on the surface in your mind, not with heat or cold that could harm you, but just the feeling of being present in the quiet. The horizon is low and curved. Above you, the sun appears larger than it does from Earth, glowing softly in a black sky. You feel the warm side of Mercury behind you and the cool side ahead of you. You are standing between day and night, between sunrise and dusk, in a place where time moves differently. If you listen closely, not with your ears, but with your imagination, you might notice that Mercury has no air to carry sound. Every step, every movement is swallowed immediately. The silence is deeper than any silence on Earth. It is not empty. It is peaceful. It feels like the universe itself is resting, letting Mercury drift in its own gentle rhythm as you rise again. Floating above the surface, you see Mercury's long, soft path around the sun. It travels like a small pebble circling a warm lantern. Every loop it makes is smooth, steady, and quiet. Even though it moves quickly in terms of distance, the motion feels calm, almost meditative. Mercury doesn't rush, it glides. Take another slow breath as you drift alongside it. The sunlight glitters softly on the rocky plains, creating a glow that feels warm but tender, not harsh. Mercury reflects only a small amount of light, so its brightness is never overwhelming. Instead, it feels humble, gentle, almost like a quiet friend who stays close to the warm center of home. Think of Mercury as the solar system's early morning planet, the one that wakes first, touches the sunlight before all others, and greets the day with soft stillness. When it faces the sun, it holds the warm glow of dawn. When it turns away, it rests in the cool calm of night. This balance gives it a peaceful personality, a mix of warmth and shadow, light and quiet as you drift higher. Mercury becomes a small glowing pearl against the dark. It shines softly, warmed on one side, cool on the other, always circling the sun with its smooth, graceful rhythm. It does not ask for attention. It simply moves, steady and silent, in its gentle orbit. Let that feeling settle in you, the calm, the stillness, the slow movement. Let Mercury's quiet rhythm become your own for a moment. A slow orbit, a warm glow, a cool shadow, a path that never rushes. And with another soft breath, we drift onward, leaving this gentle wanderer behind as we glide toward the next calm world waiting in the sunlit silence of the solar system. Take another slow breath as Venus's golden glow softens behind us. Ahead, a familiar light begins to rise. Soft blues, deep oceans, drifting clouds that move like feathers floating in quiet air. As we approach, Earth reveals itself, not as a place of noise or rush, but as a gentle swirl of life wrapped in calm colors. From this peaceful distance, Earth looks tender, almost delicate, turning slowly in the dark like a blue lantern hanging in the quiet of space. Let yourself drift closer until the details begin to bloom softly before your eyes. You see wide oceans stretching across the planet in shades of deep sapphire, soft teal, and pale silver where sunlight touches the waves. The water doesn't move wildly from up here. Instead, it shifts in smooth patterns, like calm breaths spreading across the surface. Each ocean glows with a quiet rhythm, holding the memory of tides rising and falling in steady loops. Clouds swirl gently over the blue, forming shapes that shift like slow, dreamy brushstrokes across the sky. They curl, stretch, and drift without hurry, wrapping the planet in a soft, white veil. Sunlight catches the tops of the clouds, turning them into glowing fields of white gold. On the shadowed side, the clouds darken into cool gray, creating a peaceful balance between day and night. Even storms, so powerful on the surface, look from above like delicate spirals, slow and calm, turning silently in the sky. Take a moment to feel the quietness of this view. Earth hangs in the dark like a peaceful world made of light and water. Nothing feels sharp, nothing feels rushed. The entire planet turns slowly, keeping time with a rhythm that feels almost like a heartbeat. Daylight spreads across one side in a warm, gradual wave, while night settles over the other with cool gentleness. Every moment, the boundary between day and night glides softly around the planet like a dimming curtain, smooth and effortless, as you float above the light side. Imagine the soft glow rising from the surface. Cities sparkle faintly, not like harsh lights, but like tiny stars resting on the land. Forests stretch in deep greens that look almost velvety from space, calm and still. Mountains rise like gentle folds in the earth's skin, their peaks catching the golden light of morning. Rivers thread through the land like shining silver threads, weaving stories across continents. The air around Earth forms a thin blue halo, fragile, beautiful, glowing gently in the sunlight. This thin layer holds everything that breathes, everything that grows, everything that dreams. It is the only place we know where life wakes in the morning, rests at night, and fills the world with quiet motion. From up here, the atmosphere feels like a soft blanket wrapped around the planet, protecting it, holding it gently in place. Now drift toward the night side. As the sun slips behind the curve, Earth's lights awaken like a new sky rising from below. They glimmer across continents in gentle clusters, sparkling softly in the darkness. The oceans fade into deep blue, smooth and peaceful. The clouds on this side appear as faint shadows floating across the world, moving slowly like memories drifting in sleep. Everything is quiet, everything rests, even the moon, circling patiently nearby, adds to the calm. Its silver glow touches Earth softly, casting gentle reflections on the oceans, brightening the tops of clouds, and keeping the night from becoming too dark. The moon has followed Earth for billions of years, and from up here, you can feel the bond between them, a soft companionship, steady and comforting. Take another breath in and out. Feel the slow rotation of the Earth beneath you. It doesn't spin fast, it turns with peaceful rhythm, giving each part of the world enough time to warm in daylight and cool beneath the stars. This cycle, morning, midday, evening, night, continues smoothly, endlessly, like the beating of a heart that keeps life alive. It is a gentle rhythm, steady and natural. Imagine floating just above the dawn line, where night melts into morning. The sunlight begins as a faint glow, then grows into soft gold, rolling across the land and water. It wakes forests, warms oceans, and lights up clouds with warm color. It feels like the world whispering awake. On the other side, dusk settles just as gently, cooling the land, calming the sky, and letting the night settle in. From this view, Earth feels like a living dream, blue, white, green, gold, all swirling together in soft, calm harmony. Every movement is slow. Every change is gentle. Every breath of wind, every wave, every drifting cloud becomes part of a larger, peaceful rhythm. This is home, the only world we know where life grows, rests, and breathes. The only place where oceans sing softly against the shore. The only place where warm light rises and cool night falls. The only place that turns with a heartbeat-like pace, steady and familiar. As you drift higher, Earth becomes a soft sphere, glowing quietly in the dark. A calm world spinning with grace, a blue calm of home. And with that gentle glow fading beneath us, we drift onward again, deeper into the quiet softness of the solar system, toward the silver companion that watches Earth with eternal patience. Let your breath loosen again as Earth's blue calm softens below us, just a little farther out, floating in the quiet dark. A familiar companion appears, the moon. It moves with Earth in a slow, gentle dance, never rushing, never pulling away, always keeping a steady pace beside us. From here, the moon glows like a soft, silver lantern, hanging just above the darkness, shining a peaceful light across the quiet side of our world as we drift closer. Imagine the moon reflecting the sun's glow with calm patience. There is nothing harsh about the light. It falls in smooth silver waves that soften the edges of everything it touches. On Earth, this glow settles across rooftops, oceans, forests, and quiet streets, giving the night a soft, steady presence. For countless generations, people have looked to this gentle light for comfort. Even now, its glow carries the same calm, ancient warmth. The moon's surface slowly comes into view, pale, textured, and quietly beautiful. You see wide plains stretching across its face, smooth and open, like gentle deserts made of dust and soft stone. You see craters that rise and fall in calm curves, shadows resting inside them like cool pools. Nothing here moves quickly. The shapes have stayed the same for millions, even billions of years, untouched by wind, untouched by water, resting in endless stillness. The moon feels like a memory that never fades. Take a slow breath as you drift lower, imagining your feet touching the powdery surface. The ground feels soft and light beneath you, almost like the Earth's dust, but quieter, somehow older. The world here has no sound. Your movements make no echo. Your presence leaves only a faint print that could last for ages. The silence is deep and gentle, not empty. A silence that holds you softly, like a quiet room steeped in peace. As sunlight touches the moon, its surface glows with a soft gray shimmer, almost like silver satin. The light doesn't scatter like it does on Earth. It falls cleanly, making every small rise cast a long, dreamy shadow. These soft shadows stretch across the plains like delicate brushstrokes, giving the landscape a calm, almost painting-like stillness. Even the edges of craters look smooth from above, as if the moon has been sleeping under the same blanket of light for a very long time. Now imagine drifting high again, watching the moon's phases unfold like slow-turning pages in a peaceful story. You see it as a thin crescent at first, glowing like a curved smile in the night. Then it grows into a soft half-circle, then a full round lantern of silver light. The transitions are never rushed. Each phase lingers, giving night after night a slightly different mood, a little more light, a little less, like a gentle rhythm guiding the world's evenings. Think of how the moon rises slowly over the horizon, lifting its soft glow into the sky. Sometimes it rises golden, washed in warm sunlight, filtered through Earth's atmosphere. Other times it rises pale and cool, like a silver pearl floating upward. And on quiet nights, when the air is still and the world is calm, the moon's reflection stretches across lakes and oceans in long, gentle lines that shimmer and fade with the movement of the water. These reflections feel like whispers from another world, soft and soothing. The moon's presence has shaped Earth's rhythm for billions of years. Its gentle pull guides the tides, drawing waves forward and then letting them fall back in a slow, calming pattern. The tides breathe with the moon, rising and settling like a natural lullaby whispered across the shores of the world. Even creatures of the sea move with this rhythm, following the moon's pull, the way we follow the rise and fall of our own breath. Take a moment to picture the moon during a still winter night on Earth. Clouds drift aside and the sky clears into deep blue-black. The moon shines down, bright but soft, lighting fields, forests, rooftops, and empty roads with cool silver. The air feels quiet, the world feels slowed. Nights like these remind us how gentle the universe can be, how calm even the darkest hours are when bathed in the moon's patient glow. As you float around the moon, its far side slowly turns into view. This hidden half, untouched by Earth's gaze for most of human history, feels even quieter. The craters are deeper here, the plains wider, the shadows longer. It is a place that has known only silence, no water, no air, no voices, just the soft touch of sunlight and the quiet rhythm of time. This side of the moon feels ancient, steady, and safe, like a world wrapped in endless, peaceful sleep. Another slow breath, in and out. Let the moon's calm presence settle your thoughts. Feel the softness of its light, the stillness of its land, the slow grace of its orbit. The moon never hurries. It simply moves in a steady circle, guiding the rhythm of Earth's days and nights with gentle constancy. As you drift higher, the moon returns to its place beside Earth, glowing softly like a guardian lantern in the dark. It doesn't shine with fire or power. It shines with patience, with quiet beauty, with a comfort that has followed us through every night of our history. And with that silver companion resting peacefully behind us, we turn again, drifting deeper into the calm spaces of the solar system. Let your breath soften again as the moon's silver glow fades behind us. Ahead, another world comes into view, smaller than Earth, quieter than Venus, softer in its own lonely way. This is Mars, the silent red desert. From afar, its pale, rust-colored surface glows gently beneath the thin sunlight, like a warm stone resting in the evening light. There is no noise here, no rush, no movement that breaks the calm. Mars carries a quiet beauty, the kind that feels like a wide, empty desert at dusk. resting under a soft pastel sky. As you drift closer, the colors deepen. Shades of rose, peach, and sunset red blend across the planet like a gentle watercolor painting. The thin Martian atmosphere softens the sunlight, giving it a faint, golden warmth that touches the land with tender light. Even though the sun is far away, its glow still reaches Mars with calm grace, making the sky shimmer in soft pastel tones. You might see hints of pale blues at sunrise, quiet golds at midday, and dusty pinks at dusk, each one settling gently over the land, slow and peaceful. Now imagine floating just above the surface. Below you stretch long valleys carved over ages by wind and ancient water. They are wide, open, and calm, like pages from a story whose words have faded into silence. You see gentle dunes rolling across the land, waves of dusty red sand shaped by winds that whisper softly across the surface. These winds do not roar. They move slowly, quietly, brushing fine grains of dust into delicate patterns that shift over years, not moments. Take a moment to imagine landing lightly on the Martian soil. Your feet press into a soft cushion of dust that has been resting here for countless ages. The ground beneath is cool, smooth, and still. The silence around you is deep, deeper than the moon, deeper than any quiet you have ever known. There is no sound of water, no rustle of leaves, no hum of life. Only the soft whisper of a thin breeze passing over distant dunes. It feels almost like stepping into a world that has been dreaming for a very long time. Look up at the sky, because the atmosphere is so thin. The colors appear muted yet tender, a soft rose glow near the horizon, fading into warm peach, then melting into a gentle butterscotch hue near the sun. During certain times of day, the sky may shift into cool violet tones that blend smoothly into the landscape below. Everything feels touched by dusk, as if the entire planet lives in a never-ending evening. Now drift a little higher and look at the towering volcanoes rising quietly from the surface. These giants, once active long ago, now sleep beneath blankets of dust. Their slopes stretch far into the distance, but nothing moves upon them. No smoke, no fire, no heat, just stillness. Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in the solar system, rises like a calm, ancient mountain wide, gentle and peaceful in its long rest. It feels less like a place of force and more like a silent guardian watching over the desert as you glide. Across Mars, you begin to see canyons that cut deep into the surface. Valles Marineris, a massive canyon system, stretches for thousands of kilometers, its walls falling into soft shadow. From above, the canyon looks like a slow crack in the desert surface, filled with layers of red and warm brown, each one shaped by time rather than chaos. The shadows inside are long and cool, creating a calming contrast to the sunlit plains. It feels like looking into a quiet valley at twilight, mysterious, ancient, but never frightening. Take another slow breath, in and out. Let the stillness of Mars settle inside you. Here, time moves differently. Days are slow, nights are quiet. Seasons shift gently across the land, bringing subtle changes in color and light. Sometimes dust lifts into the sky, creating soft, hazy veils that glow in golden hues before settling again. Even the storms move slowly, drifting across the surface like immense, gentle clouds of dust, swirling without sound. Imagine standing at the edge of a smooth dune. The sun hangs low in the sky, appearing smaller and softer than it does on Earth. Its thin light spreads across the sand in warm, peach-colored glimmers. Shadows fall long and graceful, stretching far behind every rock and ridge. You might see small dust devils spinning lazily in the distance, tiny whirlwinds of sand that rise and fall quietly, their movements delicate as if shaped by unseen hands. As the day fades, Mars becomes even more peaceful. The sky turns deeper rose, then soft lavender, then cool violet. Stars begin to appear one by one, sparkling faintly in the thin air. The temperature drops, and the land settles into deeper stillness. The desert surface glows faintly beneath the starlight, creating an almost dreamlike scene. A red world resting under a violet sky, silent and timeless. Now drift upward again. From higher above, Mars looks like a calm, round stone, lying in the dark, colored in gentle reds and browns, with light clouds of dust drifting over its surface. It is a world that feels like a whisper, a soft breath, a long, quiet pause in the solar system. Everything about it is unhurried. Everything about it invites stillness. Take one last look at the silent red desert. Notice how peaceful it feels, how softly it rests beneath the sun's distant glow. Mars has been quiet for billions of years, shaped slowly by wind and time, holding its ancient landscapes with gentle patience. And with another slow breath, let go of the stillness as we drift away, leaving this calm desert behind. Ahead of us waits a giant world with swirling clouds, a peaceful giant moving through space with soft, steady grace. Let your breath settle again as the soft red sands of Mars drift behind us. Ahead, in the deep dark of space, an enormous world begins to appear, not with noise or force, but with a calm, glowing presence. This is Jupiter, the giant of our solar system. Even from far away, its gentle brightness fills the space around it, like a warm lantern shining softly in a vast, quiet room. Though Jupiter is enormous, hundreds of times larger than Earth, nothing about it feels harsh. Its beauty is peaceful, its light soothing, its movement slow and dreamlike as you drift closer. Jupiter's cloud bands begin to reveal themselves, wide, smooth layers of creamy beige, soft gold, gentle gray, and pale brown. These bands swirl around the planet like slow-moving water, curving and blending in patterns that look almost hand-painted. The clouds do not clash or rush. Instead, they flow around the planet with graceful, sweeping lines, creating a calm rhythm that feels ancient and comforting. Imagine floating just above these cloud tops. The atmosphere spreads out beneath you like a vast ocean made of mist and color. The bands move slowly, almost lazily, their edges curling in soft spirals that seem to drift in and out of one another. Each swirl feels organic, like the movement of a calm tide. If you let your eyes follow one of these spirals, you may feel a gentle pull, as though the planet is quietly inviting you into its slow, hypnotic motion. Take a soft breath as Jupiter's rotation comes into view. Even though this giant world turns faster than any other planet, from a distance, the motion feels smooth and unhurried. The clouds glide around its curved surface with dreamlike ease, giving the planet a peaceful spin. Watching Jupiter turn feels like watching a soft, endless painting that moves only as quickly as your breath. Drift a little closer and notice how each cloud layer blends with the next. There are no sharp breaks, no sudden changes. Instead, colors fade gently into one another, like watercolor brushed across wet paper. Some bands are thin and delicate, others wide and deep, but all of them share the same flowing rhythm. Even the famous storms, like the Great Red Spot, appear softer from here, not violent, but patient, turning calmly within the vast atmosphere. Imagine hovering above that huge, swirling oval. Instead of seeing chaos, you see smooth, circular clouds drifting around the center, moving with steady grace. The soft reds and browns mix in subtle tones, forming a pattern that feels like a slow dance, polished by time. Nothing about it feels wild now. It feels like a storm, softened by distance, shaped into something almost meditative. Let your breath fall into the rhythm of Jupiter's motion in slow, out, gentle. Jupiter's clouds seem to breathe with you, expanding and curling with each inhale, tightening and smoothing with each exhale. It's as if the whole planet moves to the same calm beat, inviting you to follow along. Now imagine the sunlight falling across Jupiter. Because the planet is so large and so covered in clouds, the sunlight reflects in a soft glow, spreading across the atmosphere like a gentle glaze. The top layers shine faintly, creating smooth highlights that travel around the curve of the planet. The deeper layers remain calm and dim, creating a soothing contrast of light and shadow. Everything feels blended, wrapped in soft brightness. As you drift farther around the planet, you might notice tiny flecks of light, Jupiter's many moons reflecting the sun as they glide through space. They move in graceful orbits, like small lanterns circling a larger one, adding to Jupiter's quiet beauty. Each moon follows its own smooth path, never rushing, never breaking the calm harmony of the system. Take another breath, deeper this time, letting the size of Jupiter settle gently inside you. Even though it is enormous, there is nothing overwhelming about it. Its presence is comforting, like a giant companion resting peacefully in the dark. Jupiter's atmosphere is thick, soft, and layered, like a warm blanket wrapped around its core. If you imagine dipping your hand into those clouds, they would feel like cool, flowing mist, smooth, gentle, and endless. Let yourself drift beneath the upper cloud decks in your imagination. There, the light grows dimmer, softer, more muted. The colors shift into deeper tones of brown and gold, slowly swirling in patterns shaped by wind that you cannot hear. Everything moves in slow spirals, forming natural curls and loops that look like brushstrokes on a giant canvas. You feel weightless here, floating in the calm belly of a giant dream. Now drift back up again, rising into the sunlight above the highest clouds. The planet stretches out below you in soft stripes of color, turning calmly through space. Jupiter does not shine like a star. It glows like a gentle ember, steady, warm, and comforting. As you move away, Jupiter becomes a large, glowing sphere wrapped in soft lines of color. The motion of its bands remains visible even from afar, creating the same peaceful, almost hypnotic effect. You could watch it spin for hours, letting your mind drift with the clouds, feeling their calm movement settle into your thoughts. take one last look at this giant with the soft glow. A world so massive, yet so soothing. A world that turns in silence, wrapped in endless clouds that move with gentle purpose. Jupiter reminds you that even the largest things in the universe can be calm, that size does not always bring noise or chaos, but sometimes a deeper, slower peace. And with that quiet glow fading softly behind us, we drift onward, moving deeper into the solar system, where a golden world with shining rings waits in the silent dark. Let your breath slow again as Jupiter's soft, swirling clouds drift far behind us. Ahead, another giant begins to glow in the quiet darkness, a world touched by gold, wrapped in a halo of delicate rings that whisper as they circle around it. Saturn appears gently at first, like a pale lantern rising in the distance. But as you drift closer, its beauty opens fully, calm and breathtaking. Nothing about Saturn feels loud or forceful. Everything about it, the soft colors, the graceful rings, the smooth rotation, feels peaceful, almost like a quiet dream floating through space. As you approach, Saturn's golden hue becomes clearer. The planet glows in warm tones of pale honey, soft beige, and creamy gold. These colors do not shine sharply. They melt together in gentle layers, giving Saturn the appearance of a softly lit orb resting in the dark. Its clouds, though enormous, move slowly and quietly across the surface, forming bands that are smoother and calmer than Jupiter's. Saturn looks serene, almost sleepy, as if it drifts through space, wrapped in warm light. Then the rings begin to come into view, thin, delicate, almost weightless. They circle the planet like brushstrokes painted by a gentle hand. From a distance, the rings look solid, as if carved from silver and glass. But as you drift closer, you see that they are made of countless tiny pieces of ice and dust. Each piece reflects sunlight in a soft shimmer, creating a faint sparkle that glows like morning frost catching the first warm rays of day. Imagine drifting just above the rings. They stretch out wide beneath you, forming thin, elegant curves that wrap around Saturn with quiet grace. They are vast, wider than the distance from Earth to the Moon, yet they feel delicate, almost fragile. Each icy piece moves in its own orbit, following a smooth path that has remained steady for millions of years. There is no noise here, no clashing or rushing, only gentle motion, thousands of tiny particles gliding in perfect harmony. Take a slow breath and picture dipping your hand through the rings. They would not feel solid. Instead, your fingers would pass through cold grains of ice, drifting apart and coming back together like soft snowflakes. The sunlight reflecting off these particles creates faint, glowing bands that change gently as you move. Some sections appear bright and silver. Others glow softly like pale gold or warm cream. The rings feel alive, but only in the calmest way, like a quiet river of light flowing endlessly around a golden world. Now imagine floating just above Saturn's cloud tops. Unlike Jupiter's swirling storms, Saturn's atmosphere looks smoother, more blended, more peaceful. The clouds form gentle ribbons that circle the planet in soft hues of gold, beige, and faint gray. Sunlight touches the upper layers and creates warm highlights that drift slowly across the surface. The shadows fall softly too, making the curves of the planet look round, warm, and inviting. Saturn turns slowly beneath you, its rotation calm and steady. Even though the planet spins quickly in reality, from your peaceful vantage point, the movement feels gentle, a slow, dreamy turn that carries its rings with it in graceful motion. As the planet rotates, the rings tilt slightly, catching new angles of sunlight. Sometimes they shine brightly, like strands of silver silk. Other times they appear faint and thin, glowing like delicate lines drawn across the night sky. Take another slow breath and let the serenity of this world ease into your mind. Saturn's rings do not roar or rush, they whisper. Their motion is so gentle that it almost feels like you're hearing them through your imagination, a soft, faint hum of millions of tiny pieces drifting together, turning with the planet, moving in perfect silence. It is the quietest orchestra in the solar system, performing an endless, gentle dance. Now drift to the shadowed side of the rings. Here, the sunlight does not reach. The ice particles fall into darkness, and the rings become thin, faint outlines against the black of space. But even in shadow, they hold their shape gracefully, curving around Saturn like the drawn outline of a peaceful dream. Saturn's night side glows faintly under starlight, its golden tones deepening into warm amber and soft brown. The planet feels calm, resting quietly beneath its ringed blanket. Look outward and see Saturn's many moons orbiting at different distances. Each moon follows a steady path, moving with gentle timing like dancers circling around a stage. Some are small and icy, glowing faintly. Others are larger, casting soft shadows on the rings as they pass. Titan, the largest moon, appears wrapped in a thick haze, glowing softly like a dim lantern in the distance. Even these moons add to Saturn's calming presence, each one drifting peacefully in its own slow rhythm as you float above the rings. Feel your own breath matching Saturn's quiet pace. In, gentle, out, slow. The planet's soft glow settles into your thoughts, smoothing them like calm hands brushing over still water. Saturn has a way of slowing everything: time, motion, even your mind. There is no urgency here, no sharpness, only smooth edges, soft light, and endless circular motion. Imagine watching Saturn turn for hours. The rings glide with it, never breaking their shape, never losing their delicate form. The sunlight shifts across the icy particles, sending faint sparkles across the curve of the planet. The golden clouds remain smooth, unbroken. Everything about this world feels balanced, steady, resting in quiet harmony. Take one last slow breath as you adjust your view, drifting a little farther away. From this distance, Saturn becomes a glowing sphere wrapped in the thinnest, most elegant halo you can imagine. The rings look almost too delicate to be real, yet they have circled Saturn for countless ages, whispering their peaceful dance into the silence of space. Saturn shines gently in the dark, a golden world surrounded by shimmering brushstrokes of ice. Its calm rotation carries the rings in a soft, graceful motion, creating one of the most soothing sights in the solar system. And with that golden glow resting behind us, we drift onward once more, deeper into the quiet, where cooler blue worlds wait in the distant dark. Let your breath soften once more as Saturn's golden rings fade into the distance, like gentle strokes of light dissolving into the dark. Ahead of us drifts a cooler world, quiet and pale, wrapped in soft shades of blue. Uranus appears slowly, almost shyly, rising from the darkness, like a calm sphere resting in a cosmic sea. Nothing about it is loud. Nothing about it is sharp. Uranus feels like a quiet winter lake floating in the silence of space, untouched, serene, and deeply restful. As we drift nearer, its color becomes clear, a pale, dreamy blue, soft as ice, reflecting morning sky. The shade is cool, soothing, almost sleepy, as though the planet is wrapped in a layer of quiet frost. Unlike the golden warmth of Saturn or the swirling patterns of Jupiter, Uranus keeps its surface simple, smooth, even unbroken. It is a world that asks nothing, says nothing, simply rests in its soft glow, drifting gently around the sun with peaceful ease. One of the first things you notice is its tilt. Uranus leans on its side, almost completely sideways, as if the planet has curled up in a cosmic hammock, relaxing beneath the distant sunlight. This unusual angle gives it a sleepy, dreamlike quality. It rotates differently from every other planet, spinning like a ball rolling along its orbit. The motion is slow and gentle, not rushed or spinning wildly, but turning in the most relaxed, unhurried way imaginable. Take a slow breath as you picture this sideways rotation. Imagine the soft blue sphere rolling quietly through space, its poles facing the direction other planets reserve for their equators. The sunlight reaches it at a slanted angle, creating long, calm seasons that lasts for decades. For years at a time, one pole rests bathed in soft daylight, while the other lies in cool darkness, not harsh darkness, just a deep, soothing shade. Of blue, Uranus's clouds, though faint and delicate, they are subtle, gentle, almost ghost-like. Nothing about them feels stormy or wild. They move so slowly that you might think they are frozen in place, quietly resting against the smooth blue backdrop. Sometimes they appear as soft white bands, other times as faint gray swirls, but always light, airy, and peaceful. Imagine floating close to this calm world. The air beneath you, though not breathable, feels still, cold, and quiet, like standing near a frozen pond at the edge of winter. There is no sound, no sharp winds, only a deep, cold quiet that feels comforting, not empty. Uranus seems to exist in its own slow rhythm, where time passes like drifting snowflakes, gentle, unhurried, and quiet. Sunlight at this distance is faint, but still warm enough to give Uranus a delicate glow. The rays stretch across billions of miles to kiss the planet's surface with soft, pale light. The glow is subtle, a thin shimmer that wraps around the sphere like a blanket of icy luminance. You can almost imagine running your fingers along the surface and feeling cool smoothness, like touching polished glass chilled by winter air. Take another soft breath, in and out. Let the calmness of Uranus settle into your thoughts. Let its slow, sideways spin remind you that not everything needs to follow the usual rules. Some things can tilt, rest, move differently, and still remain beautiful. Still remain steady, still find their quiet path through the universe. Now drift slightly farther back, enough to see the faint rings of Uranus. They are not bold like Saturn's. They are thin, dark, subtle, almost hidden in the shadows. The rings circle the planet in narrow bands, sometimes barely visible, until the sunlight slips across them at just the right angle. When they do appear, they glow softly, like thin strokes of charcoal floating around a pale blue lantern. Their presence adds a delicate frame to the planet, enhancing its peaceful, minimal beauty. Uranus is a world of gentle tones, pale blues, soft whites, cool grays. Everything about it feels like winter, quiet, the stillness after fresh snow, the peaceful hush of cold air settling over calm water, the quiet sigh of wind moving through icy trees. But this is not a harsh winter. It is a dreamy one, silent, serene, comforting. Picture orbiting the planet at a slow, drifting pace. Below you, the blue sphere rotates like a marble turning in a child's hand, smooth and even. As the sunlight moves across its surface, the colors shift slightly, from pale sky blue to cool turquoise to soft, icy green. The transitions are subtle, barely noticeable, except to someone watching with patient eyes. Everything changes slowly. Here, like the gradual lighting of dawn in a quiet forest, because Uranus spins on its side, its sunrise and sunset feel unusual. The light spreads across the poles in long, gentle sweeps, turning the sky into a soft painting of glowing blues. The darkness that follows is deep but peaceful, filled with faint starlight and the quiet shimmer of the rings drifting through. Shadow. Even the nights here feel like a soft blanket of calm. Let your breath follow the rhythm of Uranus's slow motion. In gentle, out steady. This world does not hurry, and for a moment, neither do you. You simply float beside it, breathing with its calm, feeling its cold quiet settle inside your chest like fresh, clear air. Imagine watching Uranus for hours or even days from this peaceful place. The view hardly changes. The colors stay soft. The surface remains smooth. The rings drift silently. The planet just turns, sideways and serene, following its long, tranquil path around the sun. There is something deeply comforting in that kind of constancy, a reminder that even in the vastness of space, there are worlds that choose to move slowly, rest quietly, and glow softly. Take one last look at the sleepy blue sphere. It hangs in the darkness like a dream wrapped in ice, moving through space with gentle precision. Its sideways tilt gives it a unique grace, a quiet personality unlike any other world. Uranus does not need bright colors or loud storms to be beautiful. It simply is calm, cool, peaceful. And with that calm settling into your breath, we drift onward, leaving the resting blue world behind as we glide toward another distant giant, darker, deeper, and just as quiet in its own soft way. Let your breath fall into an easy rhythm as Uranus fades behind us, its sleepy blue glow dissolving softly into the dark. Ahead, deeper in the solar system than any bright world we've visited so far, another sphere begins to appear, darker, richer, and more mysterious. Neptune rises slowly from the distance, like a deep blue dream, floating quietly at the edge of the sun's reach. It is the faraway dreamer of our solar system, the quiet wanderer wrapped in layers of cool, velvety blue. From afar, Neptune looks like a calm ocean under moonlight, vast, gentle, and endlessly deep. Its color is richer than Uranus's pale blue, more like the deep water of a quiet sea on a winter night. Nothing about it feels sharp. The shade is smooth, soft, and perfectly blended, as if painted with long strokes of cobalt and indigo. Neptune glows faintly in the darkness, like a silent lantern whose light is cool rather than warm, steady rather than bright. As you drift closer, the atmosphere reveals itself in soft, rolling waves. These are not waves of water, but clouds of gas that move with quiet grace across the planet. They stretch out in long arcs, shifting as gently as mist, drifting over still water. Even the winds here, though fast by earthly standards, feel calm from this distance, because everything is softened by the vast blue around it. The patterns they create look smooth, almost hypnotic, like ripples spreading across a deep lake at night. Take a slow breath and imagine yourself floating just above Neptune's cloud tops. The world beneath you feels wide open and peaceful. The cloud bands drift like brushed velvet, forming subtle shapes that curl and slide across the planet. Some areas are a lighter blue, glowing faintly where sunlight manages to reach. Others are darker, like deep shadows resting in the folds of the atmosphere. Every shade blends smoothly into the next, creating a calm tapestry of cool color. The sunlight here is faint, far weaker than the light that touches Earth or Venus, but that faintness adds to Neptune's peaceful character. The light that does reach the planet spreads gently, creating a soft sheen across the atmosphere. Imagine twilight settling across a calm sea. That is how Neptune feels all the time. A world that lives in an endless, quiet dusk. Now drift closer still, until the finer details become clear. Wispy clouds float gently above the deeper layers, moving with slow confidence. Sometimes they gather into pale streaks of icy white, stretching across the planet like thin, delicate threads. Other times, they form soft patches that drift peacefully through the blue, as if carried by a gentle tide. Even the darker spots that appear in Neptune's atmosphere, large, swirling storms, feel less like chaos and more like slow circles etched into a quiet sea. Their edges are soft, their shapes rounded, their movements calm. Let your breath follow the planet's quiet rhythm. In, slow, out, gentle. Neptune's atmosphere moves with a deep, steady flow that settles easily into your thoughts. Watching. It is like watching distant waves, each one rising slowly, curling softly, and fading into the next. The entire planet feels like a peaceful ocean caught in an eternal moment of stillness. Imagine dipping your hand into Neptune's upper atmosphere. Not realistically, but the way dreams let you touch the untouchable. The air would feel cold, smooth, and thick, like cool mist brushing across your skin. The wind might move past you with a soft push, carrying the faint, scentless chill of deep space. Even in your imagination, nothing here is sharp or biting. Everything is softened by the planet's distance, by its quiet, by its gentle blue calm. Neptune's faint rings begin to show themselves as you drift farther back. They are even subtler than those of Uranus' thin, dark bands that resemble soft charcoal arcs drawn against the night sky. They circle the planet quietly, barely visible until the light grazes them at just the right angle. When the sunlight touches them, they flicker faintly, like thin strands catching the distant glow of a moonlit night. These rings add a delicate frame to Neptune, outlining the planet with quiet elegance. Take another breath. Let the coolness of this world flow through your imagination. Neptune's deep blue surface hides all secrets beneath gas and ice, giving it a mysterious calm. You cannot see the layers below, but you feel them, stacked like silent pages of a story written in gentle winds and cold storms. The planet's heart remains unseen, wrapped in thousands of kilometers of tranquil blue. From this peaceful height, Neptune looks like a soft marble resting in the dark. The sunlight brushes across its edge, creating a thin, glowing line that outlines its curve. The rest of the planet remains a gentle blend of blues, each shade melting into the next as the world turns at its slow, steady pace. Imagine watching Neptune rotate. There is no rush in its movement. The blue bands drift across the surface like ink spreading slowly through water, swirling and stretching in graceful patterns. Even the storms move with smooth, sweeping arcs. They do not flash or roar. They drift. They breathe. Now drift even farther back until Neptune becomes a small, glowing orb suspended in the quiet dark. It shines softly, a cool jewel set at the edge of the solar system. Everything about it feels far away, distant, dreamlike. It is a world that seems content to remain quiet, to move at its own pace, to glow in its own soft shade of blue. Take one last breath as Neptune fades slowly behind us. Feel its calmness settle inside your chest, the cool, deep quiet of a world that dreams in blue. Neptune reminds you that even in the farthest corners of the solar system, peace can be found, beauty can be found, stillness can be found. And with that calm drifting gently through your thoughts, we turn away from the deep ocean in the dark, gliding deeper into the quiet edges of space, where smaller worlds and silent travelers wait in the softness of the distant night. Let your breath fall into a slow, steady rhythm as Neptune's deep blue glow fades behind us. Now the light around you grows dimmer, softer, almost like the last moments before night fully settles. We are drifting far beyond the bright worlds, into a region where sunlight is only a faint memory, a thin, distant glow, warmed by billions of miles of space. And in this quiet, in this gentle cold, a tiny world begins to appear. Pluto rises slowly from the darkness, not as a bright sphere, but as a small, tender glow, a world wrapped in frost, drifting peacefully at the far edge of the solar system. It is distant, lonely in the most beautiful way, and incredibly calm. Here, time itself seems to move differently. Everything slows, everything softens, everything feels like a quiet breath held in the stillness of deep space as you drift closer. Pluto's icy surface begins to shimmer faintly under the pale sunlight. The glow is delicate, like the frost that settles over a window on a winter morning. It doesn't shine sharply. Instead, it spreads across the surface in a soft silver blue sheen, giving the whole planet a dreamy, gentle mood. The ice here reflects light in a way that makes Pluto look peaceful, almost like a snow-covered hill resting beneath a soft morning sky. Take a slow breath as you approach the surface in your imagination. You see plains of nitrogen ice stretching out in smooth, glassy patches. You see gentle mountains rising from the frost. Some mountains glow faintly with pale blue edges, while others rest in deep gray shadows. The landscape feels untouched, pristine, as if it has been sleeping for billions of years without disturbance. Imagine lowering yourself toward Pluto's surface. The air here is thin beyond measure, a soft whisper of atmosphere made mostly of nitrogen. There is no wind to brush against your skin, no sound no movement beyond the slow shifting of distant ice. The silence is so complete that it feels comforting, like stepping into a quiet room where nothing demands your attention. You can almost feel your thoughts quieting too, settling like soft snow. Look up again at the sunlight. Even though Pluto is far from the sun, it still receives enough light to cast gentle, long shadows across the land. The sunlight here feels like the glow of a distant lantern, faint, cool, and comforting. It turns the horizon into a smooth gradient of pale gold, fading into icy blue. This thin light gives Pluto a timeless feeling, like a world suspended between night and day, always resting, always calm. Now drift a little higher to take in Pluto's patterns, swirling plains, heart-shaped regions of bright frost, gentle ridges, and valleys shaped by slow movements of ice. The famous heart-shaped plain, called Tombaugh Regio, glows especially softly from afar. It looks almost like a peaceful symbol carved into the surface by nature, an icy heart resting quietly against the darkness of space. Its smooth, white texture stands out gently from the rougher, darker areas around it, making Pluto look tender, almost shy. Take another slow breath, in through the nose and out through the lips. Feel your chest rise and fall like Pluto's gentle landscape, shaped by slow rhythms. This distant world has no storms like Jupiter, no rings like Saturn, no bright glow like Venus, and yet it carries a quiet beauty that is completely its own, the beauty of a world unhurried by time, untouched by noise, resting in the far cold, with calm dignity. Now imagine drifting farther around Pluto, watching its tiny moon Charon rise from behind the horizon. Charon is not much smaller than Pluto itself, and together they move in a slow, graceful dance. Unlike most planets and moons, Pluto and Charon orbit a shared point in space, gently circling each other like partners spinning in an endless, quiet waltz. Their motion is smooth and calm, repeating the same steps day after day, century after century. Watching them feels like watching a pair of floating lanterns drifting in a still, dark room. As the light from the sun touches Charon's icy surface, it creates soft, gray-blue tones that blend seamlessly with Pluto's own palette. Together, the two bodies make the space around them feel alive with a subtle, peaceful glow. Their slow rotation means that daylight and night spread gently across their surfaces, lingering for long stretches. Nothing changes quickly here. Everything unfolds with patience. Picture lifting away from the surface and drifting high above Pluto now. From this distance, the planet begins to look like a frosted marble set against a dark velvet backdrop. Shines faintly, a soft bead of icy light that seems to whisper its presence rather than declare it. Even the thin haze around the planet, made of cold nitrogen particles, forms layers that glow softly when sunlight passes through them. This haze rises and settles in a slow rhythm, like a planet breathing in and out. The cold here is deeper than anything felt on Earth, but it does not feel harsh. It feels gentle, like the crisp air of a winter dawn before the world wakes. The silence is complete, but not empty. It holds a kind of peace, the peace of a place untouched, where time stretches into long, quiet moments that feel timeless. Take another breath, slow, and let Pluto's calmness settle into your body. Let it cool your thoughts, soften your emotions, Quiet your inner noise. This tiny world, so far from the sun, teaches us something rare, that even in the quietest places, there is beauty. Even in darkness, there is a soft glow. Even in distance, there is presence. Drift farther out now. Pluto becomes smaller, a tiny pearl floating in soft darkness. But its calm, timeless mood lingers, like the memory of a quiet snowfall or the faint glimmer of frost in early morning light. Let that feeling stay with you as we drift onward, leaving Pluto's pale glow behind and gliding toward the next world, a region filled with ancient travelers, drifting in long, gentle arcs through the peaceful outer reaches of the solar system. Take a slow breath as Pluto's frosted glow fades gently behind us. Now the space around you grows wider, quieter, and more open than before. Here, in the soft dark between planets, countless moons drift through their orbits like small lanterns moving along invisible paths. They circle their worlds with calm precision, following ancient rhythms that have never broken, never hurried, never lost their grace. Each moon carries a story, quiet, unique, and softly unfolding like chapters floating across the pages of a cosmic book as we drift forward. Imagine the solar system not as isolated planets, but as families of worlds. Some planets have only one moon, others have dozens. Jupiter and Saturn are surrounded by entire swarms of these gentle wanderers, each one moving in its own circular path, each one following the steady pull of gravity in a dance as old as the solar system itself. If you could hear these motions, they would not sound like noise. They would sound like soft hums, like a slow rhythm beating deep beneath the silence of space. Picture yourself drifting near a moon, orbiting quietly around its planet. The moon doesn't rush, it doesn't strain, it simply follows its path, turning smoothly as sunlight brushes gently over its surface. Some moons shine with bright reflections, glowing like round pearls against the dark. Others are dimmer, covered in soot or dust, reflecting only a faint glimmer. But all of them hold their own beauty, soft, subtle, timeless. Take a slow breath, in and out. Let your body relax as we move toward one of these floating stories. Imagine Europa, one of Jupiter's peaceful moons. From afar, it appears pale and smooth, like a marble carved from ivory and ice. Thin cracks stretch across its surface in delicate patterns, almost like faint lines drawn with a fingertip on frosted glass. Beneath that icy shell lies a deep ocean, hidden, ancient, and completely silent. This ocean moves with slow currents, beneath the surface, untouched by light, untouched by wind, drifting in a gentle darkness that has lasted for billions of years. If the ocean of Europa could speak, its voice would be a soft whisper, telling the story of a world that breathes quietly beneath ice. Now drift toward another moon, Ganymede, the largest in the solar system. It feels like a small world of its own, with gentle stretches of light and dark terrain that glow softly under sunlight. The surface looks like a peaceful mix of icy plains and old worn-down ridges. Even though Ganymede is massive, nothing about it feels heavy. It rotates slowly, following Jupiter's pull, like a child swaying gently beside a parent. Its magnetic field hums faintly, invisible but steady, adding another soft voice to the chorus of the outer worlds. Take another breath as we glide toward Saturn's moons, each one carrying a different mood, a different quiet chapter. Enceladus drifts like a tiny pearl, bright and icy, shining with pure white light. Its surface looks smooth, polished by ages of frost. Sometimes, thin plumes of water vapor rise from cracks in its ice, drifting upward like soft breaths released into the cold, starry sky. They sparkle faintly in sunlight, forming a delicate mist that falls back as snow. This moon feels alive in the gentlest way, always whispering, always breathing through its quiet geysers. Then there is Titan, Saturn's largest moon. Wrapped in a golden haze, Titan looks soft, blurred, dreamlike. Its surface hides beneath layers of mist, the color of pale honey. Lakes of liquid methane rest quietly in its valleys, dark and smooth as polished glass. Titan turns slowly, glowing faintly as sunlight filters through its thick atmosphere. Its calm presence feels like a quiet, foggy morning, where shapes blur, sounds soften, and the world feels wrapped in warm stillness. Now drift back and let all these moons appear together. In your mind, dozens upon dozens of them circling their planets in wide, peaceful arcs. Some moons are rocky and cratered, with surfaces shaped by ancient impacts. Others are covered in ice that glimmers under sunlight. Some are smooth, some are rugged. Some carry oceans or atmospheres. Some are tiny, no bigger than mountains. Yet, each one moves with the same quiet purpose, following its orbit with calm precision. Take a deep, slow breath and feel the peaceful rhythm of their motion. Imagine the night side of a moon. Sunlight fades and the surface falls into deep shadow. If you were standing there, the planet it circles would rise above the horizon like a giant glowing lantern. Its light would cast long, gentle shadows across the moon's surface, softening the sharp edges of craters and rocks. The silence would feel endless, wrapped in black sky dotted with distant stars. And as the moon continues its slow orbit, the glow of the planet would shift, tilt, and fade, like the dimming of a candle against a quiet wall. Now drift outward, again watching moons from above as they glide around their worlds. Their orbits form perfect circles or soft ellipses, always repeating, always steady. From this distance, they look like small beads sliding along invisible strings, smooth, gentle, predictable. There is something comforting in their constancy. They remind us that not all movement in the universe is wild or violent. Some of it is soft, some of it is slow, some of it is simply peaceful. Take another deep breath, letting your chest rise and fall like a moon completing its orbit. Imagine the smaller moons, now tiny worlds, that look like misshapen stones or gentle lumps of rock and ice. They too follow their paths with quiet loyalty. Some drift close to their planets, moving quickly like small birds circling a tall tree. Others wander far from their worlds, taking long, slow paths through the dark. Even these irregular moons feel like floating stories, fragments of cosmic history drifting silently through space. Every moon in the solar system has a tale written in craters, ice, ridges, and soft light. And together they create a collection of quiet chapters, each one adding a different voice to the gentle music of the solar system. Their motions, their shapes, their reflections, all of it forms a soft harmony that moves with the planets around the sun. Let your breath settle one more time, slow, smooth, steady dot. As you drift away, the moons remain behind, glowing softly around their parent planets like floating lanterns in a dark, peaceful field. They circle forever, each one moving to its own calm rhythm, each one whispering a quiet chapter in the story of the solar system. And with their gentle light fading behind us, we glide onward, deeper into the dark, where older and quieter travelers wait. Your breath fall into another slow rhythm as the moons fade quietly behind us. The solar system grows wider again, more spacious, more open. Here, between planets and around them, countless small travelers drift through the darkness. Not worlds, not stars, but ancient fragments shaped gently by time. These are the asteroids and comets, the quiet wanderers of space. They move with unhurried grace, following long, patient paths carved over billions of years. As we drift closer to the asteroid belt, that calm region between Mars and Jupiter, imagine a soft scattering of rocky shapes spread out far more widely than people often imagine. These are not crowded fields where stones crash or collide. They are peaceful, solitary travelers drifting through vast distances of empty space. Each asteroid moves slowly, steadily, tracing a long, curved path around the sun. From afar, their motion feels like a slow dance, individual but connected, gentle and timeless. Asteroids come in all shapes and sizes. Some are smooth, rounded by ages of quiet drifting. Others are jagged, shaped by ancient impacts, long faded into silence. Their surfaces are covered in dust, shadows, and muted colors, soft grays, warm browns, hints of charcoal. When sunlight touches them, the brightness is gentle, not sharp. It creates small, delicate highlights along their ridges, making them look almost like resting stones on a dark, endless shore. Imagine floating beside one of these asteroids. It rotates slowly, so slowly that hours or even days could pass before the surface, before you turns away. There is no wind here, no atmosphere to stir the dust or shift the rocks. Everything is still. The silence feels deep, peaceful, like stepping inside a quiet cave where time moves with soft steps. The asteroid's motion, though subtle, gives it a steady rhythm, a quiet heartbeat echoing through the dark. Take a slow breath and let your thoughts drift along with these gentle rocks. They are remnants from the beginning of the solar system, pieces left over from the time when planets were forming, and yet they do not feel like leftovers. They feel like ancient storytellers, holding memories of a time when the sun was young and the planets were only beginning to settle into their orbits. Their slow drifting feels like a soft, continuous whisper from the past. Now we move farther outward, leaving the rocky asteroids behind and gliding toward the distant travelers, the comets. Unlike asteroids, these wanderers carry ice in their hearts. Most of their lives are spent in deep cold, far from the sun, drifting like frozen seeds across the dark gardens of space. But when the sun's warmth finally reaches them, something quiet and beautiful happens. Imagine a comet approaching the inner solar system. At first, it looks like a faint, icy pebble wrapped in shadow. But as it drifts closer to the sunlight, the ice begins to warm, not suddenly, not with violence, but gently, like frost melting under a slow sunrise. The comet breathes out a soft cloud of gas and dust, forming a glowing halo around its core. This halo, called a coma, shines with delicate light, making the comet look like a tiny star wrapped in mist. Take another slow breath and picture the comet's tail unfolding. Sunlight pushes the dust and gas away from the comet, creating a long, soft trail that stretches across space. The tail is not a single line. It is a drifting, glowing veil that flows behind the comet like a silk ribbon carried by a calm breeze. Its colors are faint, pale blue, silver white, sometimes soft yellow, glowing gently against the darkness. Comets never hurry. Even when they move quickly through their orbits, the feeling of watching them is peaceful. They glide along curved paths that can take hundreds or even thousands of years to complete. They come close to the sun only briefly, then drift back into deep space, carrying sunlight in memory rather than in presence. Their journeys are long, patient, unhurried, a slow pilgrimage through the solar system. Imagine standing on a quiet hill on Earth, looking up at the night sky as a comet appears. It does not flash or roar. It slides gently into view, its tail stretching across the stars like a delicate brushstroke. People gaze at it with awe, but the comet itself remains calm, drifting through the sky with ancient certainty. Its motion feels peaceful, like watching soft clouds drift across the moon. Now drift beside one of these comets in space. The icy nucleus beneath the glowing coma is small, sometimes only a few kilometers wide. Its surface is dark and rough, covered in coal dust, but the surrounding glow softens everything, turning the comet into a floating lantern. The tail ripples behind it like a flowing scarf, shimmering with faint light that grows brighter as the comet moves toward the sun. From afar, the Kuiper Belt does not look crowded. It looks peaceful, open, and quiet. The icy objects scattered throughout it are separated by vast distances, each one following its slow, quiet path around the sun. They drift like snowflakes, caught in an endless orbit, their motion unhurried, their presence subtle. Sunlight here is soft and pale, stretching thinly across billions of miles. It barely warms the icy surfaces, but it gives them just enough glow to shimmer gently in the dark dot as you drift closer to one of these icy bodies. Imagine its surface catching the faint sunlight. It shines with a cool, silvery radiance, like frost on a window at dawn. The ice reflects the light in delicate patterns, creating soft highlights that move slowly as the object rotates. Some of these icy worlds are round, shaped by their own gravity. Others are lumpy, irregular, like gentle stones softened by age. Their surfaces are coated with frozen nitrogen, methane, water, ice, and dust, all blending together to create a palette of pale blue, silver white, and soft gray. Take a slow breath. Let the coolness of this place settle into your chest. The Kuiper Belt is quiet in a way that feels pure, almost untouched. The darkness here is not empty. It is peaceful, soft, comforting, a blanket of stillness that wraps around the icy travelers. When you look around, the stars appear sharper and colder, sparkling like tiny needles of light against the velvety night. Imagine drifting beside a medium-sized Kuiper Belt object. It rotates slowly, barely moving, as if time itself has slowed. To match the calm of this distant region, the sunlight creates a faint halo around its edges, outlining it with pale silver. Shadows stretch across its surface, long, soft, unbroken. Even the smallest ridges, the shallowest dips, the scattered patterns of ice, all carry a quiet beauty shaped by billions of years of gentle drifting. Farther out, you see larger bodies, worlds like Eris, Haumea, and Makemake, each glowing faintly in the dim light. Haumea, with its elongated shape, looks like a smooth pebble stretched into a gentle oval. Eris shines cold and bright, almost like a faraway pearl resting in the deep dark. Makemake carries a warm reddish hue that looks like distant embers glowing. Under layers of frost, these worlds do not speak. They do not move quickly. They simply exist, floating in patient orbits, carving out their quiet places in the snowy border. Take another relaxed breath and imagine drifting deeper into the belt. The icy objects become more numerous, small fragments, frozen pebbles, quiet bodies left over from the solar system's earliest days. They move along long, slow paths, repeating the same curves year after year, century after century. Some objects travel in gentle circles. Others follow wide-stretched orbits that lead them closer to the sun before carrying them back into the cool dark again. Each motion feels calm and smooth, like leaves floating on a still winter lake. Now imagine standing on the surface of one of these icy bodies in your mind. The ground beneath you is cold, coated with frozen crystals that crunch softly under your imagined steps. There is no wind to stir the surface, no sound to break the silence. The sky above you is a deep, endless black, dotted with stars that shine more brightly than you have ever seen. The sun appears as a small but steady star, glowing like a distant candle. Its light reaches you gently, giving the world a faint glow, just enough to keep the darkness from becoming overwhelming. This place feels like the edge of a quiet dream, a soft boundary between the solar system and the vast unknown beyond. The objects here move so slowly that their orbits take hundreds of years to complete. Time stretches thin in this region. A single sunrise on one of these icy worlds could last longer than an entire season on Earth. The cold feels timeless, the stillness eternal. Take a slow, deep breath and let the quiet of this snowy border settle into your thoughts. The Kuiper Belt is more than just a collection of icy rocks. It is a treasure chest of ancient material, leftovers from the formation of the solar system, preserved in cold darkness like frozen memories. Each object carries a piece of the story of how planets were born. And because the temperatures here are so low, these pieces have remained almost untouched, changing only through slow, gentle processes that take millions of years. Picture the belt as a soft ring encircling the outer reaches of the solar system. It stretches far beyond Pluto, spreading its icy worlds through a wide, calm region. The sunlight that reaches this place is like a faint whisper, a soft greeting from the sun that barely touches the cold, quiet surfaces. Yet even in this dim light, the icy objects glow with a delicate beauty, shimmering softly, like snowflakes floating in a dream as you drift farther away. The Kuiper Belt begins to look like a gentle mist of frozen specks spread across the dark. They shine faintly, like dust caught in a soft beam of light, drifting slowly in peaceful circles. The entire region feels still, serene, hushed, as if the solar system itself is exhaling, allowing its outermost edges to rest undisturbed. Take one more slow breath. Let the peaceful cold wash over you. We leave the snowy border now, carrying its quiet calm with us as we drift toward an even more distant, more mysterious region, a cloud of icy bodies that surrounds the solar system like a soft curtain waiting in the deep dark. Let your breath slow into an easy floating rhythm as the Kuiper Belt, with its snowy, quiet, and icy wanderers, fades gently behind us. Ahead lies a region so vast, so softly distant, that it feels more like a dream than a place. There are no bright planets here, no glowing rings, no swirling storms, only darkness, calm, deep, and peaceful. And within that darkness, spread across an enormous sphere around our entire solar system, drifts a soft scattering of icy bodies. This is the Oort cloud, a gentle shell of ancient ice surrounding our cosmic home like a quiet, protective blanket. As we drift farther into the dark, the sun shrinks into a faint star behind us, no brighter than any other point of light in the black sky. Its warmth barely reaches these distant places. Its glow becomes the softest whisper. Yet, even so, the Oort cloud remains part of the sun's family, the farthest breath of its presence, stretched thin across the cold. Take a slow breath. Feel the vastness around you. Here, space feels different, quieter, slower, more open. The sense of distance is almost soothing, like standing in a snowy field at night where everything is still and the world seems suspended in silence. The icy bodies of the Oort cloud are incredibly far apart, far more distant from each other than any objects in the asteroid belt or Kuiper Belt. You could travel millions of miles and see nothing at all. But the emptiness does not feel lonely. It feels peaceful, like a still winter night where every sound is softened and the cold air carries a sense of calm. Now imagine drifting beside one of these icy travelers. It is small, perhaps no bigger than a mountain or a house, shaped by billions of years in deep freeze. The sunlight reaching it is almost non-existent, but even that faint glow gives the ice a soft shimmer, like a frost-covered leaf catching a sliver of moonlight. The ice reflects pale hints of blue, silver, and faint white. You see curves and ridges shaped not by wind or water, but by time itself. This little world has never felt heat, never seen warmth. It has lived its entire life in gentle cold. Take a slow breath. Let the stillness sink in. These icy bodies are the seeds of future comets. Most will remain here forever, drifting quietly through their enormous orbits. But every once in a great while, one will feel a small nudge, the tug of a passing star, the subtle shift of gravity, and it will begin a long, slow journey toward the sun. That journey can take millions of years, and for all that time, the comet will drift silently through the dark, leaving the calm of the Oort cloud for the glowing warm regions closer to the sun. But many never leave. They stay here, resting in the cold, untouched. Picture yourself floating at the center of this immense sphere. The Oort cloud surrounds you completely, above, below, in every direction, stretching far beyond what your eyes can see. If the solar system were a home, the planets would be the rooms, the Kuiper Belt would be the yard, and the Oort cloud would be the soft fence at the very edge, wrapped around it all like a comforting embrace, a boundary that isn't sharp but gentle, not a wall but a quiet blanket of ice and silence. Take another breath, slow, smooth, peaceful. the darkness here feels thick but not heavy. It feels like a long night that never becomes frightening, a night made of velvet and stillness. The stars around you shine brighter than they do near Earth. Without the sun's strong glow, the sky becomes a field of sparkling lights, each one steady and soft. You might feel as if you're floating in a dream, surrounded by countless tiny lanterns in the dark. Now imagine looking toward the sun from this distance. It looks nothing like the golden star that warms Earth. It appears as a bright, tiny spark, a pale bead of light surrounded by endless shadow, yet it still anchors everything. Even out here, at the farthest edge of its influence, the sun's gravity holds these icy bodies gently in place. It is a soft pull, not a strong one, more like a quiet reminder of home. The Oort cloud is the outermost breath of the sun's reach, the final sigh of light and gravity before true interstellar space begins. Drift a little farther. The objects here glow faintly when stars pass behind them. You might see tiny arcs of reflected light sweeping across their icy surfaces. Each object rotates slowly, peacefully, as if nothing in the universe could ever disturb it. Some are round, others elongated, others shaped like rough diamonds or lumpy stones. No two are the same. Each one carries the quiet signature of its long, frozen life. Take a deep breath. Feel how slow everything is here. Orbits in the Oort cloud are so large that one full circle around the sun might take millions, even tens of millions of years. A single season on one of these icy worlds could last longer than all of human history. Time becomes soft, stretched, gentle. Nothing is rushed, nothing is urgent. This place moves with the rhythm of eternity. Now picture the edge, the outer boundary of the Oort cloud. Beyond it lies interstellar space, where the sun's influence fades completely. But here, at the very edge, the solar system ends, not with a sharp line, but with a gradual whisper. The objects drift more loosely. The sun's gravity becomes faint. The distance to other stars becomes almost equal to the distance to the sun itself. It is a place where the universe feels open, almost infinite, and yet comforting, like the quiet moment at the end of a long journey. Take one last gentle breath. The Oort cloud surrounds our solar system like a soft shell, a quiet cosmic blanket that has held its frozen bodies for billions of years. It is peaceful, calm, and timeless, protecting the solar system's outer edges with silence and stillness. Being here feels like standing at the edge of a dream, where the world softens into quiet light and the darkness wraps around you like a warm, endless night. And with that calm filling your thoughts, we dissolve back into the soft dark, carrying the quiet of this place as we drift onward toward the gentle harmony of the planets and their endless, peaceful motion. Let your breath ease into a slow, peaceful rhythm as the soft shell of the Oort cloud fades behind us, dissolving back into the cool dark. Now we drift inward once more, passing through the quiet reaches of the solar system, moving toward a place where motion itself becomes a gentle language, a calm choreography written in gravity and light. Here, the planets follow their silent paths around the sun, each one moving in a smooth, unbroken circle or soft ellipse. And together, their movements create a harmony that has lasted for billions of years. The quiet, cosmic music of orbit. Imagine the entire solar system spread out before you like a vast, floating mobile suspended in darkness. At the center glows the sun, warm and steady. Around it, each planet follows its own gentle path. No colliding, no drifting wildly, no sudden leaps or stops. Everything moves with soft precision, like dancers gliding across a stage in perfect timing. The orbits never rush, never clash. They repeat their motions with peaceful consistency, guided only by the soft pull of the sun's gravity. Take a slow breath and picture yourself floating at a height where all planetary paths are visible at once. They form thin, elegant circles of motion. Mercury's tight and swift, Venus's smooth and bright, Earth's steady and balanced, Mars's gentle and dusty red. Farther out, Jupiter follows a deep, wide curve. Saturn drifts along in another soft ring, accompanied by its shimmering halo. Uranus and Neptune trace long, slow paths, each orbit stretching across decades of quiet time. Now imagine these orbits not as lines, but as patterns of movement, a flow of planets drifting like leaves floating along calm currents. Each one glides at its own pace, yet together they form a rhythm that feels complete, like different instruments playing in perfect harmony. Mercury's orbit is quick and light, like a soft tapping beat. Venus moves slow and steady, like a warm hum. Earth and Mars glide with gentle mid-tempo motions. Jupiter adds a deep, slow pulse. Saturn joins with a smooth, circling rhythm. Uranus and Neptune feel like long, deep breaths, stretching through the far reaches of space. This is the music of the solar system, not heard with the ears, but felt with the mind. A quiet, predictable motion that has repeated for ages, shaping the seasons, guiding the planets, creating the calm architecture of our cosmic home. Take another gentle breath and let us drift closer. Imagine watching Earth in its orbit. From high above the plane of the solar system, you see the blue world tracing a perfect path around the sun. The motion is smooth, continuous, unbroken. Earth never wobbles out of line. It simply follows its gentle curve, year after year, spinning softly as it goes. The orbit creates the cycle of seasons: winter, spring, summer, autumn, a simple, beautiful rhythm that guides life across the planet. Every sunrise, every sunset, every shifting breeze is part of that orbital flow. Now drift outward to Mars. The red planet follows its own softer or slightly more stretched path. It takes its time, moving slower than Earth, lingering in each phase of its journey. Its rhythm is that of long, quiet moments, the slow turning of desert dunes beneath a pale sun. Mars's orbit reminds you that motion does not need to be fast to be purposeful. It can be calm, steady, patient. Take another breath, slow and easy. Imagine next the wide orbit of Jupiter. The giant planet moves with deep grace. Its path, a broad circle that takes nearly 12 Earth years to complete. Watching Jupiter orbit feels like watching the slow turning of a great wheel, strong yet peaceful, vast yet gentle. Its motion stabilizes the solar system, guiding smaller objects, calming chaotic paths, shaping the rhythms of moons and asteroids. Jupiter's orbit is like the bass note of this cosmic music, steady, grounding, deep. Nearby, Saturn drifts in a slightly slower, slightly wider circle. Its golden glow turns softly through space, its rings shimmering as they move with it. Saturn's orbit feels elegant, like a dancer moving with long, sweeping motions. Each completed circle takes nearly 30 Earth years, giving Saturn a rhythm that feels patient and serene, like a slow, drifting melody that blends seamlessly into the quiet dark. Take a breath. Let it flow in smoothly. Let it fall out gently. Farther out still, Uranus and Neptune glide along their distant paths. Uranus's orbit takes 84 years. Neptune's takes 165. Their movement is so slow, so extended, that a single orbit could span an entire human lifetime or two. Watching them drift around the sun feels like watching the slow unfolding of a dream. Their orbits embody the quiet passage of time, the soft patience of the cosmos. Nothing rushes here. Nothing breaks the flow. As you drift above all these orbits, imagine tracing the paths with your fingertips. Each one forms an endless loop, smooth, delicate, unhurried. The loops never overlap in destructive ways. They never fall out of sync. They keep distance, maintain balance, and preserve harmony. You are witnessing a system that has moved in this peaceful pattern for billions of years, guided by forces so gentle and steady that their very consistency becomes calming. Now picture the sun at the center, not fierce, not overwhelming, but glowing like a warm heart. Its gravity stretches outward like invisible threads, gently pulling each planet along its curve. The planets lean into these curves naturally, following the sun's soft guidance without resistance. It is as if the sun hums a quiet tune, and each planet follows its own part in the melody. Take another slow breath, feeling the harmony settle into your thoughts. Even the smallest bodies, the moons, the asteroids, the comets, follow their own orbits that weave into this greater pattern. Nothing moves alone. Everything is part of the larger flow. The solar system is not a chaotic storm of motion. It is a quiet ballet of celestial bodies drifting with graceful timing. Imagine watching time pass quickly, centuries flowing by in seconds. Even sped up, the orbits remain peaceful. Planets glide smoothly around the sun, never colliding, always keeping distance, always returning to their places, like soft, repeating verses in a song. Think of how comforting this is. The solar system has been following this same rhythm long before humans existed, long before Earth formed its oceans, long before sunlight touched the first living cell. And it will continue long after us, drifting, circling, humming its cosmic tune in the quiet dark. Take one last breath, slow and soft, and let the rhythm sink deep inside you. The orbits of the planets are like calm footsteps on an endless path, creating harmony without sound, structure without force, beauty without effort. They remind us that even in the vastness of space, there is order, balance, and peace. The solar system moves as one great, gentle breath, flowing, circling, settling, repeating dot, and with that quiet, cosmic music guiding us, we drift onward to explore how light itself travels through this peaceful, orbiting family of worlds. Let your breath drift into an easy rhythm again as the gentle harmony of planetary orbits lingers behind us. Now we turn our attention to something even softer, something that moves through the solar system without sound or weight. Light, sunlight, travels outward from the sun with calm, patient grace, spreading warmth, color, and quiet energy across billions of miles. It is one of the most peaceful travelers in the cosmos. And though it moves incredibly fast, nothing about the journey feels rushed. Light glides. It doesn't push. It flows. It doesn't force. It touches. It doesn't strike. Imagine yourself standing near the sun, not close enough to feel heat, but close enough to see its gentle glow spill into space like warm water spreading across a smooth floor. Waves of light move outward in every direction, golden, soft, and steady. The light begins its journey full of warmth, bright and strong, but as it travels farther from the sun, it stretches gently, becoming cooler, calmer, softer in tone. Take a slow breath and picture a single beam of sunlight leaving the sun. It does not rush in frantic bursts. It simply moves forward, gliding smoothly, covering millions of miles in seconds. In just over 8 minutes, it reaches Earth, touching oceans, mountains, forests, windows, hands, faces. This same beam might warm a field, brighten a morning room, or reflect across a calm lake. And yet the journey it took to reach us was completely silent, perfectly smooth. Once sunlight passes Earth, it keeps going, gently, quietly, toward the outer planets. By the time it reaches Mars, the light has softened just slightly. The warm gold shifts into a more delicate hue, like the color of late afternoon. Martian days glow with a thinner, cooler brightness, creating dusty shadows and pale skies. The light there still warms the land, but it feels gentler, as though filtered through a thin veil. Feel how light changes with distance, becoming softer and more tender. Now imagine sunlight continuing farther outward toward the gas giants. When it reaches Jupiter, the beams spread out, weaker than they were near Earth, but still bright enough to illuminate the swirling clouds. The reflection gives Jupiter a peaceful glow, like light touching the surface of soft, moving water. On Saturn, sunlight dances across the rings, catching icy particles and making them sparkle like frost on a winter morning. Even though the light is faint, the rings shimmer beautifully, shining with a delicate, scattered glow that feels almost magical from afar. As sunlight drifts toward Uranus and Neptune, it becomes even more gentle, cool, pale, and airy, like the soft light of dawn. It touches the faint clouds of Uranus with a sleepy blue glow, and Neptune with a deep ocean blue tone. The sunlight's warmth has weakened, but its beauty remains. It paints the distant worlds in soft, calming shades that make them look peaceful and dreamlike. Take a slow breath and imagine drifting with the sunlight as it continues even beyond Neptune. Now the light travels toward Pluto and the outer icy worlds. By the time it reaches them, the sunlight is faint, no brighter than a soft daybreak. It gently brushes their frosted surfaces, making them shimmer like snow under a pale morning sky. The icy plains reflect the light in quiet silver tones. Shadows fall long and thin across frozen mountains. Nothing is bright here. Everything glows softly, like a world lit by distant lanterns. Continue drifting with that sunlight, letting it guide your imagination. The journey is peaceful and the path is straight. Light does not bend or hesitate unless touched by gravity or reflection. It simply continues outward, stretching thinner and cooler with every mile. Eventually, it reaches the edge of the solar system, where the Oort cloud waits in darkness. Here, sunlight arrives almost as a whisper, a faint gleam that barely warms the ice, but still gives it a gentle, quiet shine. Even at this immense distance, the sun's touch reaches across the silence. Take another breath, slow and soft. On Earth, it creates warm days and golden evenings. Sunlight filters through clouds to make soft shadows on the ground, dances on the surface of rivers, and reflects from leaves like tiny sparks of life. Sunlight warms the skin, lifts moods, brightens mornings, and comforts evenings. It gives color to everything: the blue of oceans, the green of forests, the gold of deserts. All of these shades are gifts from the sun. On icy moons, light creates pale reflections that look like silver dust scattered across frozen plains. On Titan, sunlight passes through thick haze and turns everything into soft amber. On Europa, the light glints off smooth ice, creating sparkles that look like tiny stars resting on the surface. On Enceladus, it illuminates water plumes rising gently from beneath the crust, turning them into faint, glowing fountains. Everywhere sunlight goes, it leaves a peaceful mark. Imagine drifting with a beam of light that has bounced off Saturn's rings. It carries the soft signature of icy particles. Then it bounces again off the atmosphere of Titan, taking on a faint golden tint. Then again off a drifting dust grain, losing brightness but gaining softness. Light is always changing, always becoming gentler with each reflection. Take another slow breath and imagine the journey of light not as a straight line, but as a long sigh spreading through space. Light also creates time. Its speed defines the distances between worlds. We measure space by how long light takes to travel across it. Minutes to Earth, more minutes to Mars, hours to the outer planets, half a day to reach the edge of the solar system. And beyond that, light would need years, whole years, just to reach the nearest stars. But even though light moves quickly, its presence feels slow and delicate. It touches gently. It warms softly. It paints quietly. Take one more slow breath as we float in the quiet dark, watching sunlight drift across the solar system. It becomes clear that light is the calm thread connecting every world. It is the gentle link between planets and moons, the soft bridge between warmth and cold, the quiet visitor that never stops moving. Sunlight creates the rhythm of day and night. It shapes seasons. It stirs oceans. It guides life. It warms worlds near and far. And even when the warmth fades, the beauty remains. Now let yourself drift back, feeling the softness of this journey settle inside you. The peaceful travel of light reminds us that even the fastest things in the universe can be gentle, graceful, calming, and with that warm, slow glow lingering in your imagination, we drift onward, deeper into the night, toward the final view of the solar system as a whole, glowing quietly like a dream suspended in the dark.
Let your breath slow once more as the gentle journey of sunlight fades into the quiet behind us. Now, imagine drifting even farther into the darkness, to a place beyond the planets, beyond the swirling winds of space, beyond the soft borders of icy worlds. From here, from this peaceful edge, the entire solar system appears at once. Not as a map, not as a diagram, but as a drifting family of glowing spheres surrounding a warm golden star. It feels like looking at a dream slowly moving through a dark, endless sky. Take a slow breath and picture the sun at the center. In this deep night, the sun is no longer a blinding light. Its glow softens into a gentle, warm lantern hanging in the darkness. It shines like a golden ember, steady and calm, sending soft waves of light outward. Every world in the solar system circles this warm center, drifting through the black like quiet guardians, keeping watch over a sleeping fire. Okay? Now imagine turning your gaze to the planets, each one glowing with its own gentle color. They do not flash or sparkle. They do not compete for brightness. They simply rest in their places, drifting along their smooth orbits, adding soft shades to the canvas of space. Yeah, Mercury shines first, a faint silvery gray pebble reflecting the sun's softened glow. Its light is subtle, almost shy, but steady in its presence. It appears close to the sun, moving quickly but peacefully, like a small bead sliding along the inner edge of the solar system. Just beyond it, Venus glows with pale gold. From afar, its clouds reflect sunlight with a soft, creamy brightness, giving it the warm tone of a lantern wrapped in silk. Venus looks calm and pure, its light gentle and soothing against the dark. Drift your eyes outward. Canned Earth appears, glowing a deep blue with soft white swirls. Seen from this far, Earth looks like a quiet ocean pearl radiating calmness. The blue light seems to breathe, pulsing softly with the slow rhythm of day, turning to night. Beside Earth, the moon orbits as a tiny silver companion, its glow faint but loyal. Next comes Mars, the red ember of the solar system. Its glow is more muted now, softened into a dusty rose color that floats tenderly against the black. Mars shines warmly, like a small flame glowing under a thin layer of mist. Its orbit carries it steadily around the sun, creating a calm, reddish thread of light. Take another slow breath, and look farther out. Jupiter appears like a great, pale orb, glowing with soft amber and cream tones. From afar, the storms and stripes blend into peaceful colors, smoothing into a gentle sheen that makes the giant planet look restful rather than turbulent. Its many moons form tiny, glowing dots around it, drifting in soft patterns like sparks circling a slowly turning lantern. Then Saturn rises into view, the golden world with its delicate rings. At night, those rings shine faintly, thin and elegant, catching just enough sunlight to glimmer like brushed silver. From this distance, the rings make Saturn look like a piece of jewelry lying gently on dark silk. Its warm glow adds quiet beauty to the solar system's nighttime palette. As your eyes adjust to the darkness, Uranus and Neptune come into view, cool blue gems resting far from the warmth of the sun. Uranus glows a pale, dreamy blue, almost like the surface of icy water under moonlight. It tilts gently on its side, drifting in a calm diagonal path that adds softness to its movement. The planet's glow feels cold but peaceful, a restful sigh in the outer dark. Neptune, deeper and richer in color, shines like a sapphire submerged in shadow. Its light is subtle but confident, a quiet presence hinting at vast oceans of atmosphere and calm, swirling winds. Together, Uranus and Neptune add cool tones to the solar system's nighttime painting. Take another soft breath in, and imagine stepping back even farther until all the planets fit into a single view. From here, the solar system resembles a slow, drifting mural, a moving artwork painted with soft blues, warm golds, cool greens, pale silvers, and deep reds. Each world glows with its own quiet light, Each one follows its gentle orbit. Together, they move in harmony, creating a feeling of peace that stretches across billions of miles. Nothing feels rushed from this vantage point. Days, years, centuries, orbits, they all blend into a steady rhythm. Okay? Even time feels like it slows down as you watch the planets circle the sun, each following its curve with patient ease. Hey, the darkness between the planets does not feel empty. It feels vast and comforting, a quiet space that holds everything gently, the way night holds stars. The soft glow of the sun stretches just far enough to cradle its family of worlds, giving each one a warm touch, even at great distances. Now take a moment to imagine the solar system turning. The planets continue their ancient dance, drifting, rotating, circling. Their motion forms a cosmic lullaby, a slow choreography that repeats endlessly. From this distance, the solar system does not feel mechanical or distant. It feels alive, graceful, and deeply serene. Picture the asteroids glimmering faintly, like tiny sparks floating between the worlds. Comets drift along long, soft arcs, their tails faint as chalk lines drawn across the dark. Moons shimmer like small companions resting beside their planets. All of it, every object, every orbit moves together in peaceful unity. Take another deep breath, in through the nose, out through the lips, and let the calm of this cosmic painting fill your thoughts. As the solar system turns slowly beneath you, it feels like watching a dream unfold. The sun glows warmly at the center, its light spreading just enough to reveal the soft colors of its children. Each planet carries a quiet personality, a peaceful presence. Together, they form a family balanced, gentle, steady. The night view of the solar system reminds us that even in the vastness of space, beauty can be found in calm motion, in soft color, in silent harmony. It is a dream suspended in darkness, a moving painting brushed with light and shadow. And as this peaceful vision settles inside you, take one last slow, gentle breath as the quiet painting of the solar system settles behind us. The glowing worlds, the soft moving orbits, the drifting rings and icy borders, all of it begins to dim softly now, as though the lights of the universe are lowering just for you. We float at the edge of this peaceful family of planets, wrapped in calm darkness, carried by the steady warmth of the sun far behind us. The journey has been long, slow, and tender, and now we let it come to rest. The stars around you shimmer faintly, like small breaths of silver resting on a black velvet sky. The sun glows far away, gently fading into a warm ember. Each planet becomes a softer version of itself, its glow quieted, its details blurred, its presence relaxed. The whole solar system seems to take a deep, collective breath, settling into its nighttime rhythm as your own breath slows with it. In, soft, out, slow. Imagine the planets drifting along their paths, but now their motion feels even quieter than before. Mercury slides along its tight curve like a small bead rolling in silk. Venus glows softly, its golden clouds dimming as though preparing for sleep. Earth turns gently, the blue and white fading into shadow as night moves across its surface. Mars glows like a warm coal cooling gently in the dark. Jupiter rests in swirling calm, its size softened by distance. Saturn's rings catch the last whisper of light, a thin shimmer before falling into shadow. Uranus and Neptune drift like pale and deep blue lanterns, rocking slowly in the far cold. And beyond them all, Pluto and the icy worlds of the Kuiper Belt fall into a peaceful, snowy hush. And everything grows quieter, everything grows softer, everything grows still. Take another breath, letting your shoulders loosen, letting your chest rise and fall with ease. The solar system you've traveled through now feels like a warm memory, a soft dream resting behind your eyelids. You are floating in a calm, open space where nothing asks anything of you. Nothing pulls, nothing rushes. The entire universe simply drifts with you. As you breathe, imagine the narrator's voice slowing, becoming warm and close, like someone sitting beside you in a dark room, speaking softly so as not to disturb the quiet. As everything grows quiet, let the story of our solar system settle into your breath and drift with you into sleep. The words wrap around you like a blanket, gentle and light. The space around you feels cool and safe, and the faint glow of distant stars feels comforting, like small candles glowing in a peaceful room. You can sense the calm of countless planets, moons, and icy travelers surrounding you, a cosmic family resting in harmony. The sun keeps glowing, slow, steady, warm, just as it has for billions of years, and just as it will for billions more. The planets keep orbiting, always moving, always drifting, always keeping their gentle distance and their quiet rhythm. Nothing in their paths is rushed. Nothing is forced. They glide like soft breaths around the sun, repeating the same peaceful journey again and again. Take a slow breath and feel the security of that rhythm, the comfort of something steady, dependable, everlasting. Now imagine the solar wind brushing past you like a faint, calming breeze. It is the sun's quiet whisper, drifting across space to say good night. Let the last quiet breath of this story stay with you, and may sleep come gently. The solar system rests. The sun glows softly, the planets drift calmly, and you drift into sleep. Good night.